Thank you for joining me today. It is a privilege to stand before you as a candidate for re-election as Winthrop Town Council President and to be able to share my vision for our community's future. My name is Jim Lettieri, and over the past 18 years I've had the honor of serving our great community on the Town Council. I have served in various capacities, including 6 years as our Vice President and the last 2 as our Council President. I've seen our community grow, adapt, and overcome various challenges, and I have been at the forefront of positive change. Today, I want to share with you the values that have guided me, the accomplishments that we've achieved together, and my plans for the future. But before we delve into the future, let's reflect on the past. Our town has faced its share of obstacles and opportunities. Through these years, I've witnessed firsthand the power of collaboration and commitment. Our journey began with a simple belief, the belief in our town's potential. And that belief led us to take bold steps. One of my proudest achievements was my role in hiring our new town manager. Together, we have brought in someone with fresh ideas and the expertise to help us navigate the complex issues facing our community. This decision allowed us to streamline our local government immediately, fill several key positions which have been vacant, improve transparency, and ensure that your tax dollars are wisely spent. It's about making your government work for you. Other items we have addressed in the past few years have included positive changes to our center bus route, creating a much more safe, driven pathway. We've addressed multiple danger spots on Pleasant Street and come up with different ways to address each item. The infrastructure work is hard to miss, and I would be insulting you if I said it has been easy to navigate. But I can assure you that when the dust clears, we will be in much better space, both visually above ground as well as the functionality below grade. Most importantly, we have brought forward an incredible, long overdue fire station proposal, as well as I have put forward a plan for revitalization at the old middle school site. Let me first take the time to discuss the proposal for a new fire station. Our firefighters, without a doubt, are the unsung heroes of our town. Day in and day out, they stand ready to protect us, often putting their own lives on the line to keep us safe. They do this with unwavering dedication, courage, and professionalism. They deserve nothing less than the best. This proposal for a new fire station isn't just a construction project, it's an investment in our collective safety and security. In times of crisis, every second counts, and having a modern, well-equipped fire station will make all the difference. Consider for a moment the peace of time it brings when we know that our firefighters have access to state-of-the-art facilities and training facilities and equipment. This ensures they can respond swiftly to emergencies, whether it's a house fire, a medical crisis, or a natural disaster. By providing them with the tools they need, we empower them to protect our homes, families, and businesses effectively. Our firefighters selflessly put their life on the line to protect us. They deserve to work in a safe and comfortable environment that enables them to do their job effectively. This proposed station will provide modern living quarters, dedicated training facilities, and a better workspace, ensuring that our firefighters are better equipped to protect our community. But it's not just about the emergencies we can see coming. It's about being prepared for the unexpected, for the unforeseen challenges that life can throw our way. A new fire station isn't just a building. It's a symbol of our commitment to preparedness and the safety of our community. While the proposed new fire station is a significant step in the right direction, it's essential to acknowledge that no plan is perfect. In any large-scale project, there will be complexities, trade-offs, and varying opinions on the best approach. Some may argue and disagree with certain aspects, but I promise you that if you take the time to learn everything there is to know about this project, I believe you will understand this is by far our best option. We must prioritize wisely and allocate resources where they are needed most. However, in the realm of public safety, time is a precious commodity, and we cannot afford to wait for the perfect plan, because I don't think one exists. The proposed fire station may not be without flaws, but it represents a critical step towards addressing the urgent safety needs of our community. We must act now, recognizing that while this might not be the perfect solution, it is a necessary and pragmatic one that moves us in the right direction. I will continue to work tirelessly to ensure that our first responders have what they need to protect and serve us. Together, we can make sure our firefighters have the best resources and facilities to keep our community safe. They are our heroes, and they deserve nothing less than our full support. But my commitment to progress doesn't stop there. I'm excited to share with you a vision for the future that I believe will continue our town's growth and prosperity. Imagine a public-private partnership where the private entity will build a multi-dimensional sports complex in the place of the vacant middle school. This complex would include 2 sheets of ice and a field house which would be adaptable into 4 basketball courts, 4 tennis courts, 18 pickleball courts, or 12 volleyball courts, as well as an indoor track, among other items. This complex won't just be a place for exercise and fun for our community to use. It will be a community hub, a space for young athletes to hone their skills, and a gathering place which will bring in athletes from all around the country to compete in tournaments and to have the ability to attract the attention of our incredible local colleges and their coaches. It will create jobs and bring new life to an underutilized space, add much needed revenues without burdening our education system or other resources, and be an incredible stimulus to our local businesses. By partnering with the private sector, we can make this vision a reality without burdening our taxpayers. Now, you might be wondering why I'm sharing these accomplishments and plans with you today. It's simple. I've always believed that you, the average voter, deserve to know what's happening in your town and how your vote can shape its future. You deserve transparency, accountability, and leadership. And put your trust into first. I stand here not just as a candidate, but as your neighbor, your fellow parent, and your advocate. I understand the everyday struggles that we face because I face them as well. The rising cost of living, the challenges in providing our children with the best education, and the desire for a vibrant, connected community. I know what it's like to live here. I've used my experience to address these issues. In my 18 years of service on the council, I've learned that progress isn't about one person. It's about us all working together. It's about listening to your concerns, your ideas, and hopes for our town. It's about understanding that a community is only as strong as its most vulnerable members. And we must look out for each other. As I move forward, I promise to work tirelessly to create opportunities, ensure safety, and maintain the spirit of our close-knit community. Together, we can make our town a place where every resident thrives, where we invest in our shared future, and where the promise of better days is not just a dream, but a reality. I stand with you here, strongly advocating for different things, knowing that I do not have an opponent in this election. You might wonder why it's essential for me to ask for your support in this context. The reason is simple. I believe in the power of community, engagement, and unity. Even without an opponent, it's crucial for me to seek your support because your endorsement is a testament to the collective will of our community. Your support demonstrates that we are united in our commitment to improving our town and ensuring the safety and well-being of all its residents. I ask for your support, not as a formality, but as a reflection of our shared goals and values. Together we can continue to make our community a better place for all. Your support is an endorsement of our vision for a safer and stronger future, and I am truly grateful for the trust and solidarity. In closing, I ask for your support, your trust, and your vote. Let us keep moving forward together and build a brighter future for the town we love so much. Thank you all, and God bless Winthrop.
Good evening, Winthrop voters, and thank you for taking the time to watch my candidate for at-large counselor video. Most people have asked me why I'm doing this. Why would I put myself out there? And it's a simple answer. I've lived in Winthrop for over 50 years, half a century. And I love my community. I love my town. I love its location. I love my friends here. And I love the promise of Winthrop. I believe in the promise of Winthrop. And that promise is we're a working family, a young middle-class family can afford to buy a home in a community like Winthrop that has all the trappings: beaches, parks, restaurants, location to Boston. It's something that someone like my family should have never been able to afford. We grew up, or started growing up, I should say, in a back alley house with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom and 5 people. And we moved to what we thought was a mansion that had 2 bathrooms and everyone had their own bedroom. That was the promise of Winthrop that I believe in. And that has changed. And that has changed. But I believe there's ways to bring that back. I was recently approached by a supporter and we had a very long discussion about workforce housing. Something that I see as very promising and something that her and I are going to talk much more about in the future, because I do believe this can help our teachers and our firefighters and our police officers and DPW workers be able to find housing, affordable homes in the community that they work. I also come with a lot of experience. I've been politically active in this community for over 20 years. I served on the school committee from 2010 to 2013, where I was part of a team that lowered athletic and activity user fees. By doing this, we were able to see more participation, so more children got to enjoy the activities and the sports that they loved, and we raised more money to help fund these programs. We made full-day kindergarten free. We accepted a federal grant. That gave us the ability to write checks back to the parents of kindergartners and allowed folks who couldn't afford to keep their kids in school full-day kindergarten, so single working moms. That gave them the ability to have their kids in full-day kindergarten and freed up more time for them. We brought back Latin, a writing program, and music. We settled a teacher's contract, and we didn't lay off a single teacher. And as part of that school committee, I served on the school building committee, where we worked to build what is now the new Winthrop Middle High School. I volunteered on the town's ordinance review committee, a committee that takes a look at our charter and our ordinances and makes recommendations to the council to move to the people for a vote, where the people get to decide on the size of their government, on the length of terms for their candidates, not the candidates or the elected officials themselves. And I organized the planting of 15 trees on my street, Emerson Road, with the help of my neighbors. And I plan on taking that same experience and bringing it forward to my 1,000 Tree Initiative here in Winthrop, where I plan in my first year on starting the process of getting 1,000 trees planted in the town of Winthrop. Can't give you a time frame, unfortunately, because there's a lot that goes into this. But my commitment is to at least get that process started. As your counselor at large, I'm committed to three important principles: transparency, fiscal responsibility, and responsible development. Transparency: where are we spending your money? Why are we spending your money? Where is all the money going? I am a true believer that if you are fiscally responsible, if you are transparent, forgive me, but if you are transparent, you start to build more of a trust with the community and with the taxpayers and the voters, and they start to make better decisions. It's not always no. We have an upcoming debt exclusion, a very important debt exclusion for a much-needed fire department, and there's a lot of misinformation being thrown around out there and a lot of mistrust. And I believe that transparency will go a long way in resolving those issues. Fiscal responsibility. I mean, this is super easy. Live within the budget that the taxpayers give you. If you think you need more money, then we go to a 2.5 override and we let the people decide. And if they tell us no, we live within our budget. But we cannot continue to go into our budget years knowing that in year 2 or 3, in the second or third year of these plans, we're going to be short. We're going to be short. And we're going to have to find money and cut programs. Examples: my experience on the school committee, we lost those Latin programs, those writing programs, and those music programs. They are now gone. And finally, responsible development. It's really simple for me too. Urban type areas are meant for urban type buildings. I mean, that's the way it is. That ship has sailed. We have a 20 Somerset Ave project that I might say is very, very nice project. It's a much, much better looking building than what was there before. And that means that the door is now open for all those other buildings to go up. And they're going to go up. And they should go up. We need to try to drive more business to our businesses that are downtown. But that's where it should stop. Our commercial areas should be where the density building stops, not the neighborhoods. The neighborhoods are for parks. The neighborhoods are for couples, families, dogs, kids. The neighborhoods are for playing. The neighborhoods are for kibitzing. Responsible development also includes developing spaces that attract non-residents to come to Winthrop and spend their money. The proposed new athletic facility at the old middle school is a good idea to talk about, to look into, to learn about. There's potential here for the community, for the budget to receive over $200,000 annually, regardless of the success or the level of success of the facility. And we get to use it. And it's something different. And we're guaranteed time. And we have input. This is something that the community should be excited about. An opportunity to try something different that's never been tried, and to not always come back to the taxpayer or the water rate payer to pick up the slack. I believe these measures will help to keep our neighborhoods more family-friendly, drive more foot traffic to our business, our local businesses, and raise revenue without the added expenses that come along with population growth. We've got some very big issues facing us, including the new firehouse, mitigation packages of the MWRA in Massport, and what to do with the old middle school. And as a voter, as I've mentioned, I want to see the businesses benefit from the proposed athletic facility, and the firefighters get a new firehouse that is worthy of their patience, commitment, and the work that they do. This has been being discussed since I can remember. And as I said, I've lived here for over half a century. And the firehouse has been a discussion, and it's time. As your councilman, my top 3 goals for my first year are: number 1, there's going to be a decision. So I promise to collaborate with the council and the community to either oversee the building of our new fire station or the efforts to go back to the drawing board, find a new location, and get the debt exclusion back on the ballot as quickly as possible. I will also work to enhance the sense of community that is here in Winthrop. And not just of the residents, but a more of a community feel that includes teachers, firefighters, and police officers. In the recent years, we've had far too much negativity towards our police officers, with wanting to defund them, and other just very, very uncomfortable and not nice things being said about our police officers. We have some of the finest police officers the state of Massachusetts has to offer. And they have done a fantastic job under the guidance of Chief Terry Delahanty in helping us with drugs and drug issues, responding to emergencies, and in levying justice in a more recent and horrific incident that was racially charged and motivated. I would say our public safety team, coupled with the best firefighters in the Commonwealth, is world class. And I would say, too, that we need to include our teachers in our community. We need to be part of the community with the teachers. We need more parents to be involved in the schools. We need more parent-teacher association members. And we need to be more helpful in helping teachers to teach our children. We need to be better partners with our kids and teachers. Communities are built around these things, in my belief, and I intend to foster more of these type of relationships, whether or not I'm elected. However, I would be honored if you'd consider me and vote for me on November 7th. Thank you.
My name is Max Tassinari. I'm a father, a husband, and a resident of Winthrop. And I'm asking for your vote come November 7th to be your next town councilor at large. I was born on Otis Street, down Point Shirley. And while we grew up in East Boston, my wife Tanya and I decided to raise our two children right here in Winthrop. I was raised that if you work hard and play by the rules, you should have access to limitless opportunities. Winthrop can fulfill that promise to our kids, but we must work hard to ensure that it does. To provide a safe and vibrant future here in Winthrop for all residents, we need to roll up our sleeves now and get to work. We need to be fiscally responsible with our taxpayer dollars. We need to prioritize our public schools. We need to fix our streets and sidewalks. And we need to do this while we protect our assets, our beaches, our green space, and our trees. As a dad, ensuring high-quality public education for years to come is incredibly important to me. As a counselor, I plan to be an advocate for our schools at every level. I plan to advocate for funding opportunities at the state and at the federal level to bring more into our schools, to make more available for our teachers, more available for our students, more available for the support staff. To me, being fiscally responsible means smart budgeting that allows us to do the things that we need to do while also investing in our priorities and investing in our town's future. We can't always go back to the taxpayers of this town and ask them to dig deeper every 2 years. The town needs to be punching above its weight class for federal and state dollars to get our fair share of our income taxes that goes to those places. As a counselor, I want to be an advocate for Winthrop. I want to look externally at the state and federal level for grants that are available, and I want to help the town pool and expand our capacity for grant application and management. I have the experience to get this done because that's what I do on a regular basis. Part of what I do professionally is overseeing a large capital budget focused on infrastructure. I look around town here and I see many, many needs. But what I also see is opportunities. I see a lot of opportunity for state and federal funding to address our water main issues, to address our stormwater drainage, and to address coastal resiliency around town. And we could spend a lot of time and a lot of money addressing infrastructure needs. But if we aren't living in a community that feels safe, then there's not much we can do to build a vibrant community. Part of feeling safe is supporting our police, supporting our fire, supporting our public health and our public works departments in their efforts to make this community a safe place and a place we all want to live. It's our job to support those institutions and to engage with them on a regular basis to provide a safe community. Lastly, I want to thank you for your time. I want to remind you the vote is November 7th, and I want to respectfully ask for your vote to be your next town councilor at large. My name is Max Sassaneri. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is John Munson, and I'm running for Town Councilor Precinct 2. Looking forward to your vote, if you live in Precinct 2, on November 7th. Let me explain a little bit about who I am, if you don't know me already, and why I'm running. I've been living here in Winthrop for about 20 years. I have a home in the Maze on Lowell Road with my 2 kids and wife. I have family living all throughout the town. My sister and her family live on Emerson. My mom and dad live on Winthrop Shore Drive. And my in-laws live downstairs of us. And my brother even lives in Beachmont. But I also have a small business here. I have a photography and framing studio. And we have a lot of events there where people can come take a look at local artists. The artwork is quite inspiring. And ultimately, I'm basically, as a business owner, just celebrating life and just cherishing moments and helping people do that with beautiful frames. But you can see why I'm all in on Winthrop. I love this town. It's been good to us. And I have a vested interest in making sure that it continues to be a great, small bedroom community that is good for everybody. I think that it's good to know a little bit more about me. I grew up in Maine. I was one of 4 kids. I was the middle child, and I often look for that middle ground as a middle child. I'm always looking for solutions that make everybody happy. Even in my businesses, in my previous jobs, I was a director of research and training for a strategy consulting firm here in the Boston area, and that was a lot of what I had to do too. I had to synthesize a lot of information, come up with solutions and presentations, and so I think that's pretty applicable to this position as a town councilor. We're one of 9 councilors that makes decisions for the whole town, and I am one of those guys that tries to reach across the lines and work with people to come up with solutions that work for everybody, not just one group, but everybody. So I actually have a precinct map here. I'm sure you can't see it, but in this little town of around 19,000, 20,000 people, there are 6 precincts. And there, in addition to the 6 precincts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we also have 2 councilors at large and a council president, and they represent everybody. There's only, as of right now, 2 contested positions, my precinct and also the councilor at large position that Tracy Honan is stepping down from. There are 2 other positions. Stephen Ruggiero is stepping down, and he's being placed by John DeRoss, who's an uncontested. Suzanne Swope is replacing Barbara Flockhart here in Seal Harbor down to Governor's Park, the Highlands. That's Precinct 4. But everyone else is staying on for 2 more years until the next election. So I'm hoping that you'll vote for me, but more importantly, I just wanted to talk about Winthrop and where we're at a major crossroads. We have some major decisions to make that probably affect us for the next few decades anyway. We overall have a great town. We were just recently given an A- for our finances by our auditor. We just had a fall forum, and you can hear the department heads and the town manager, Tony Marino, talk about all the positive things that are going on in this town. So overall, we're doing very well. We have all new schools. We have a lot of new roads. We're going to be finishing up Revere Street and Crest in the not too distant future. Once those are done, we will really be ahead of the game. But there's some things that need some work on. In terms of safety, we have had reoccurring issues with accidents in the same spots on Pleasant Street. We've also had some major complaints about walking safety. There's an ongoing debate right now about biking and scootering. So that still needs to be worked out, fleshed out, so that it's safe. It has been, like I said, very safe. Even my kids walk to school every day for the majority of their childhood with the group of their friends, and it was lovely, and it still is, and we want to keep it that way. You know, a nice stroll in the evening with your, you know, your spouse. I think that, or anyone, is a wonderful town to live in, and we're going to try to keep it that way. So, street safety, public safety is a priority. One of the things that is entailed in that safety topic is climate resiliency. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but it's raining harder, the storms are heavier, and it floods more. And you know, the 100-year storm took place not too long ago. Well, now it's happening every few years. There's a you know, mega storm where there's, you know, a flood breaching. For example, we had on Pleasant Street, right off in front of Girdlestone and Tileston, there was major flooding. And so the DPW was fantastic, got a lot of that resolved, but there's some of it is large investments. And we really need to kind of work on making sure that we are climate resilient. There's money out there to be had. There's strategies to be put in place. We have some work to be done there in terms of climate resiliency, and that falls to me under the big public safety umbrella. And so that's a super important priority for me, is to make sure that we feel safe in our own town. Another thing that falls in that category is inclusivity. Inclusivity is basically a feeling of belonging in your own town. And that's actually a safety thing too. When you don't feel safe to be yourself in your own town because you're a different whatever, that's not good. And I think that everyone should feel comfortable in this town, no matter what color, no matter what denomination, no matter what religion, socioeconomic, it doesn't matter what kind of walk of life you're from, you should feel comfortable in this town. It shouldn't be something you're nervous doing, as being yourself. So these all fall under just basic standard of living of safety. I mean, we can't take that for granted. There are countries right now at war, and we should really cherish our safety and the small town comfortable feel that we have, and really protect it. So those are some important issues. But you know, two that are really also pressing that need immediate attention is the firehouse and the old middle school. These are two big major topics, and I could have a whole 15 minutes on each of these topics. But I think, in short, two firehouses that we have were built for horses and carriages, and so I think that we need to obviously update and get a new one. But it's not whether we need one, it's where is the best location. And you know, everyone can vote their opinion. I think there's been a lot of misinformation strewn across Facebook and other social media, but ultimately I'm for it. It's a choice location. It's strategic that the fire chose to be right there on Winthrop Street, which allows you to get to everywhere in town within 5.5 minutes. It's also conjoined with the police and as a strategic location for them, because then they can share resources as they kind of modernize their building in the years to come. So we would have, in essence, a public safety building right there in the heart of town, above any kind of flooding possibilities, in a permanently safe central location. And we've looked at all the other locations, and they've all had their problems. Is this solution perfect? By no means, but it is a good one. I'm for it. I hope you can look at the details. Get on winthropfirestation.com and look into it, and you'll see this isn't a perfect solution, but it's a very good one. And for the record, all of the tenants are being taken care of. The town is on the hook to make sure their relocation costs are covered. As of right now, I know of no businesses that are going to be displaced out of town. Everyone will have a place, so that is a positive. The old middle school is another topic that you could carry on for a while about. But in short, I feel as though I'm in a good position to be able to affect that in a very positive way. As I said before, I'm the middle child. I like to help kind of galvanize and bring together a possible solution. I also love transparency, bringing opinions from the town, bringing in all the inputs, bringing in lots of proposals, as many as possible, to create and pull from the resources, the knowledges, the ideas, the imagination, the creativity of the developers that would be proposing, not necessarily forcing just one idea of, let's say, a sports complex, which is a good idea, but we want to get as many ideas as possible so that we can choose from the best choice and then make a decision that fits and appeals to the most people in Winthrop. Are you going to make everybody happy? No, but I think it's important that we are trying to benefit the most people in this town. What are we avoiding? We're going to try to avoid traffic and less parking problems. So as part of that plan, whatever it is, we need to make sure that we're not making this town harder to live in. It's already pretty tough to get in and out of here during the work week, but you know, so those are the major issues. There's obviously other ones. We've got a lot of cool things work on the horizon with the town council. I will say that having been here now for 2 years, having been appointed to this position 2 years ago, having gotten to know how it works, what a town councilor should and can do, I am understanding now of my role, and I think that puts me in a favorable position in comparison to my candidates, the two other candidates. I do respect the candidates, and I think they're great assets. We're on the same team. We all care about Winthrop, and that makes me respect them and like them. And I hope that they continue to be a part of Winthrop and helping this town be better. We need as many volunteers as possible to make it all happen. So, but in short, I feel as though I'm well positioned for these next 4 years as a Precinct 2 counselor. I think I will help to get a lot of these things done. We even have an Airbnb issue that's going to be addressed. I'm looking forward to tackling that. I've been pushing that ever since I've been here. There's a lot of, it's kind of like the wild, wild west of Airbnb and transient lodging. Everyone's kind of doing it. There's apparently 126 units renting right now, and only 11 or 12 were registered. So we've got that to tackle, and revising that ordinance so that it's easier to actually, make the people that are not doing it right, appeal and get to the point where we can get it all on board. Our neighborhoods are safe, and control it. Start conservatively with a very few number, and then grow it. I think we'll be fine. I did want to tell you that November 7th is an important day. We have a lot of things on the ballot. We have obviously the counselor at large position between Max and Todd is an important one. I think that, and voting for me ideally, if you're in Precinct 2, I think is important, but there's a lot more stuff. The fire station, the debt exclusion request. In short, I want you to know, if you say yes, you're for the fire station at the Winthrop Street location. If you say no, you don't want it to go through. There's some more stuff here. Housing Authority, School Committee, Trustees of the Public Library. That's page 2. Then we have more. And then we also have what is proposed charter amendments. And I suggest you guys read this thoroughly and make sure that you're aware of them before you walk into it. But, I think that having been here and obviously my accomplishments kind of speak for themselves a little bit, I think you guys should know, if I were to be reelected, I would make sure that we're working for everyone, not just a small specific group. I'm working for galvanizing and creating solutions for the most people. I am looking at my leadership style as basically a team player, working together, and reasonable, intelligent, but with compassion. So please consider voting for me on November 7th if you live in Precinct 2, and thank you, and I'm grateful to be here in Winthrop, even in this position, to speak to you. Thanks again, and have a great day.
Hello, my name is Mark Chapdelaine, and I am a candidate for Town Council in Precinct 2. I'm here to ask for your vote on November 7th. I am confident that I am qualified, ready, and experienced to do this job from day one. I'm an attorney by trade. I became an attorney after graduating from Syracuse University Law School. I've practiced in Massachusetts for over 22 years. I've lived in Winthrop since 2011. My wife and I moved here quickly fell in love with the beaches, the community, and the people. I am here to preserve and protect Winthrop. I am here to ensure smart growth and growth that we can be proud of, the community that we leave to our children and to our grandchildren. I have served on the Board of Licensing as the chairperson from 2018 to 2021. I played an active role in reopening our businesses for outdoor dining. I served as chairperson of the Ordinance Review Committee in 2022, where I led a comprehensive study of our town's charter, of our rules, our ordinances. Recommendations were made to our town council to improve our ordinances and our charter with the hope that our town can become stronger, more transparent government, and a better home for all of our residents. I've been asked, why am I running? I am running because the next 4 years, our town council will be asked to make decisions that will impact lives of the residents of Winthrop for the next 40 years. We have many, many major initiatives on a horizon. The first is the middle school project. The old middle school site has sat vacant for over 8 years at a cost of $70,000 per year. This town has wasted over $500,000 on a property that has sat vacant. I am happy to see our current progress of a developer wanting to come in, a developer wanting to build our town a field house. But I have great concerns over what that looks like. I have concerns over the residents' access. I have concerns over the contents of what that facility is, and I have concerns regarding the viability of the project and what happens if this business developer does not make the numbers that are expected. I asked for a seat at the negotiating table so that we can ask those questions of access. We can ask those questions of how this project will be paid for, and more importantly, what will happen if the business that's developing this project does not have the ability to sustain longevity. Will the town be in first position? Will the town get the property back? Or will the town be sitting behind lenders? These are all questions that need to be asked. In addition, I am here to support our firefighters and our police officers. We are looking, as a community, to invest in upwards of $40 million into a new firehouse. That's an awful lot of money. On average, that could come out to $450 per household. Could be more for different size households. At first, it was difficult to support such a plan. However, I took the opportunity to learn more. I took the opportunity to look at our 2 current fire stations. I toured them. I met with the chief. I met with the deputy chief. I met with the former Chief Flanagan. I've looked at the reasons why sites were not acceptable, why they were ruled out, and why this site is the preferred site of the fire department. This site sits high atop a hill. We'll be able to push the fire station 85 feet back. It'll allow for an ample turning radius. The location on the hill will protect us and our community and our community's emergency life safety equipment from flooding and other emergencies. By positioning this fire station in this public safety area where it is proposed, we will have the ability to offer a state-of-the-art facility to our men and women of our public safety forces. We must remember, our firefighters, they live at the firehouse for 4 days at a time. They leave their families. They leave their dinner tables. They leave their kids coming home from school. And they do this all so that when we call with an emergency, they pick up the phone and they rush to our aid. We owe it to our firefighters and we owe it to our police officers to support them in this endeavor. The current conditions are unacceptable. The current conditions at the firehouse are not fit for our men and women to sleep there, to live there, to train there, to work there. We owe them more, and this fire station proposal is the first step in producing that. Phase 2 of the police station will complete what we owe our public safety personnel. However, I do not believe $40 million is appropriate. I believe there is ways to find money to reduce costs and, more importantly, to receive aid from our neighbors at MWRA and Massport. Our contracts, mitigation agreements with Massport and MWRA, they expire on June 30th, 2025. I've reviewed both of these contracts. They're not long in length, but they are very specific in detail. MWRA, in particular, is money given in consideration of Winthrop providing police, fire, and infrastructure to Deer Island. They should be a partner in a public safety building. We should build it at once. Whether the vote goes forward on November 7th for a new fire station or not, we still must address this issue. If the vote is yes, we still have to negotiate and lower the cost to each homeowner, each taxpayer. If it fails, we still must address this dire need for a public safety building. Schools. I have 3 children in the schools. Our school system is ranked in the bottom third of the Commonwealth. We lack adequate special education funding, foreign language programs, advanced placement courses, overall college trade school readiness. Our math scores, our English scores are not where they need to be. Now, we live in a community where the parents love their children. They're there for their children. We have great teachers. We have great facilities, new buildings with all the latest technological aspects that we could ask for. We're very fortunate to have these things, but we're still ranked low. How do I know and what do I base the fact that our children have great homes? I'm on the soccer fields. I'm on the Little League Diamonds. I'm at the lacrosse field. I've coached my kids in sports. I've met the parents. I understand that they want what's best for their children. They're there. They're asking about homework. They're asking about their day. They're invested in their children's future. The only explanation is that we lack the funding that we need. Winthrop gets a very small portion of Chapter 70 funds, the funds from the lottery, that are earmarked for education. Last year, Winthrop received $8 million. Our neighbors, Malden, received $54 million and Revere received $80 million. That is a large deficit for Winthrop. We currently have a $75 million town budget with our school department taking just over half of that. That is not enough money to raise the level of education that we need to provide. We live in a time now of great challenges. We live in a time where our enrollment is likely to increase. We're facing issues of size of our classrooms, size of our schools, and overall capacity. We must look at these issues these complex challenges, and we must find solutions. I hope I can earn your trust to finding these solutions with the other 8 members of the Town Council. In addition, I support our businesses. I think what makes Winthrop unique is that we have so many great restaurants, that they all can thrive in this community. We're only a community of 18,000, yet we have great, diverse restaurants, new ones opening up every day. I serve as the president of the Chamber of Commerce. As president of the Chamber of Commerce, I advocate on behalf of our businesses. I work to see that they maximize their potential, that they're not bogged down in local regulation and red tape. Rather, that they have the tools they need from our community so that they can open up and serve members of our community and serve their customers. Because we're all stronger with a strong business community. In all, I'm here to ask for your vote on November 7th. My reason for running is because I love Winthrop. I'm confident that on the Town Council I can make a difference. I can help people with smaller issues like crosswalks and street safety, all the way through complex negotiations with Massport and MWRA. I will find more money for our schools. I will address the challenges faced on Morton Road. That flooding that we receive twice a year, that should not be something those residents have to fear. We will work with the environmental DEP. We'll find a way to restore the berm that was there. We'll find a way to put dry wells in, to pump that water out, so that it doesn't end up in people's basements unnecessarily. I've walked every street in Precinct 2. I've visited over 675 homes. I've rang doorbells. I've spoke to the residents. I've met many, many dogs. In all, people love it here. They're happy here. They want someone that's going to preserve this way of life. I will not allow overdevelopment under my watch. Developers must come with parking for each apartment that they propose. If there is not parking, then, as a councillor, I would not support such a project. The reality is, we live in a very difficult time, very challenging time. The issues we face are serious. The threats to our safety and our way of life are ongoing. I will support our police and fire personnel to the fullest extent if I'm elected. I will support our schools to the fullest extent, maximizing funding, maximizing music programs, art programs. I will fight and work towards building a world-class, first-class facility on the old middle school site, one that we can all be proud of, one that we can all use. We need to bring together a variety of parties with the stakeholders of this community to build a world-class facility that we all can enjoy. It doesn't do us any good if residents of Winthrop can't get through the front door. It only benefits us if we have ample access. In conclusion, I request your vote. I'm qualified, I'm experienced, and I'm ready for this challenge. I know Winthrop, I know Winthrop's history, I know its past, I know its present, and I look forward to becoming a part of its future. Thank you for listening, and again, I ask for your vote on November 7th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kurt Millar, and I'm honored to announce my candidacy for the Winthrop Town Council Precinct 2. My family and I have been proud residents, graduates of Winthrop Public Schools, business owners, and actively involved citizens in Winthrop for multiple generations. I would love to see current and future generations of Winthrop families, as well as those who are choosing to move into town, live, work, and stay in Winthrop. Over the years, I have established a history of silently supporting Winthrop and its citizens by donating my time, services, and financial contributions to townwide events, local charities, and fundraisers for those in need. Doing this has given me invaluable insight into how giving and supportive Winthrop residents can be towards one another. I take pride in helping when and where I can. I've been employed by Gillette in South Boston for over 16 years, where I manage a $7 million budget. I have valuable experience as a health, safety, and environment leader, preventative maintenance leader, and currently a manager of inventory logistics. My background in sustainability programs, OSHA regulations, planned and preventative maintenance, managing budgets, loss elimination, cost savings analysis, and employee development and training will be an asset as your counselor. I will utilize my skill set and experience to move Winthrop forward successfully as a servant leader for our residents. It is the town councilor's responsibility to listen and hear all voices in both inside and outside of their precincts. Members of the council must vote the will of their constituents. They should not vote for the individual desires and must make those choices that benefit the greater good. This type of servant leadership ensures our actions as a council benefit our town as a whole. I will work diligently for Precinct 2 and for the entire town of Winthrop. Although this is my second time being a candidate for Precinct 2, the outcome was not what I had hoped for, but I made a promise last time I ran. I promised that I would stay committed and continue to learn about our town. So currently, I am on the Board of License and was on 2 previous Charter Ordinance Review Committees, where I gained additional experience that will benefit our town in my role as counselor. I'm also not afraid to question the status quo. When reviewing our town budget, I've identified different line items that have been shown to be questionable, such as the ferry, municipal water use, and the E.B. Newton building. I listen to citizens of various political stances and enjoy hearing different views. I want to lead the change for our great town. I will strive to unify the council, moving the town forward by ensuring residents are heard. Residents need to trust the council and our process. I will advocate for responsible growth to increase revenue while sustaining education and vital services budgets. We need to reevaluate our contracts with the MWRA and Massport. At this point in time, as Massport increases the size and the flights over our town, it is necessary that we have a voice speaking to Massport and have our state representatives join in the fight to help assist us. Winthrop faces unprecedented issues in areas of finance, environmental resilience, failing infrastructure, traffic congestion, and business sustainability. I have a keen sense for identifying cost savings and eliminating loss, which will benefit all town departments. I do have concerns about ongoing maintenance townwide. This must be addressed in all current assets and future planning. Having no conflicts of interest, such as not having a brick and mortar business in my name, I will not need to recuse myself from voting on certain motions. I know I will be a positive addition to the council. I will listen and work for you. If you're a constituent in Precinct 2, I do look forward to earning your vote on November 7th. On a couple of hot points that we do have in our town currently is the fire station. On November 7th, we will be voting for a debt exclusion. I know that our fire department needs a new fire station. So at this point, as a candidate, there's not much I can do except for vote yes or no on that. And I will support whatever the outcome is. The other hot topic is the middle school. The middle school has been sitting there far too long. Many ideas have popped up. At one point in time, we actually started a vision meeting to see what we would like there. Many ideas such as a hotel, micro units, and now currently our town council president actually put out an idea for a sports complex. I think it's a good idea to put out. It's a proposal. I think we do need to have additional information on how that would actually work. The other thing that is always an important topic is education. I feel that Chapter 70 money should be reevaluated by the state. The equation that they use needs to be adjusted. If we can look at the cost per student being at $30 and increase it to $100, it would greatly benefit our town. We also have the need for more teachers and ESPs. With that, budgeting also needs to be had. We need to ensure that we can retain our teachers and our ESPs. So in closing, I'd like to say that I am not your typical candidate. I have not asked for any donations on this campaign, and I do not want to ask for donations. I feel that our town citizens, with increased fees, taxes, have had enough. And I'd feel guilty if I were to ask for any of that. I'm also a pretty humble candidate. I am not out in the spotlight that often. I'd rather sit, read the budget, dig out lines in the budget to identify where and how I can help move that along. So in closing, I would appreciate earning your vote. And on November 7th, please vote Kurt Millar for Town Council Precinct 2. Thank you.
Hello, neighbors and friends here in our beautiful town of Winthrop. My name is John DeRoss, and I'm a candidate for Winthrop Town Council Precinct 6, which includes 2 neighborhoods, the northern half of Winthrop Beach and the Central Highlands, including the area around the Winthrop Arms. I encourage everyone to please vote on Election Day, Tuesday, November 7th. And for most precincts, voting is at the Old Middle School Gymnasium at 151 Pauline Street. I want to thank WCAT for this opportunity to introduce myself and thank all of you for taking time out of your day today. In the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, I want to briefly talk about 3 things. A little bit about myself, why I'm running, and the issues that I'm focused on. And those are based on hundreds of conversations I've had with Winthrop residents, business owners, and people in town and state government. And I want to talk about what skills and experience I can contribute to help us move forward. So first, a little bit about me. I was born in Worcester, the son of parents who met while working at Holy Cross. We moved to the small town of Waterville, Maine, when I was in elementary school. After graduating from Waterville High, I went to the University of Maine, where I got a degree in political science. I then got a master's degree in higher education, administration, from Miami University in Ohio, and started my career as an assistant to the Dean of Students at the University of Richmond in Virginia. Quality education at all levels is something I have been passionate about my entire life. I then moved on to the corporate world and have worked for the past 20 years in data and analytics sales in the financial services sector for the Dun & Bradstreet Corporation, helping insurance companies and banks make sustainable decisions for their organizations and the communities they serve. So I have experience in helping folks make important decisions based on facts and data that can help predict the success of a project or an initiative. I've lived in the Winthrop Beach community for the last 5 years, after 8 years in Melrose, where I served on the Melrose Human Rights Commission. For the past 2 years, I have served on Winthrop's Board of License, which is responsible for issuing business-related licenses for Winthrop's restaurants, car dealerships, taxi companies, and other establishments. So I know our small business community here pretty well and care a great deal about their ability to grow and thrive here. In many ways, the great restaurants, shops, other small businesses that we have here are the lifeblood of our town. I'm also very active with Friends of Winthrop Beaches. I organize the weekly Winthrop Beach cleanup and the Sunday morning summer yoga series, which, by the way, is free to all Winthrop residents thanks to a grant we received from Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. This past summer, every yoga class had about 25 or 30 people attending, so if you need some relaxation in your week, please come and join us next summer. I'm also a member of Cottage Park Yacht Club, and I participate in many of our charitable events there, benefiting Make-A-Wish Foundation and other charities. I also do the 100-mile Best Buddies charity bike ride from Boston to Hyannisport every year to support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, because I believe that people of every background and life experience have important skills and abilities and ideas to contribute to our collective benefit. I'm also a huge Boston sports fan, and having grown up playing hockey, I am particularly obsessed with the Bruins. So why am I running? It's simple, really. In 5 years here, I've come to care about the people in our community a great deal. And I think I have some skills and experience that can help us collectively agree on a plan for the future of the town and implement and execute that plan effectively and in a timely manner. I'm all about listening, engaging, surfacing ideas so that everyone has a voice and impact on the future of our community. And at the end of the day, it's all about creating a Winthrop worthy of future generations. So what am I focused on to help us move forward? Really 3 C's: community, cash, and climate. First, community. Inclusiveness. Everyone has valuable ideas to contribute. Town council, boards, commissions have a responsibility to set the tone in our town so that we embrace our diversity of thought, of life experience, so together we can make the best decisions, taking into consideration different perspectives. Black, white, Latino, Asian, young and old, straight, LGBTQ, homeowner, renter. We need a D, all of the above, we're in this together culture to get things done as a cohesive community that cares about and looks after one another. Second part of community for me is engagement. You know, out of 2,200 residents in Precinct 6, only about 325 typically vote. The overall turnout's about 35% in Winthrop. I want that to be north of 50% in the next upcoming election in 2024. So I'm going to regularly communicate with Precinct 6 residents through newsletters, roundtables, so that everyone knows what we're doing, what decisions we're making, and invite everyone to get involved. I encourage everyone to visit our town website, read our town manager's email newsletter. I also support Zoom meetings for all town council and board meetings. In-person attendance is always ideal, but for those who can't attend and want to engage, Zoom and YouTube postings help provide opportunity to participate. I hope we can improve coordination between our town departments and boards, the town council, town manager, planning board, zoning board, etc., and have fun. I hear when I talk to lots of residents that they really want to revive the fun in our neighborhoods, have frequent events, make them easier to sponsor. You know, we're challenged here in Winthrop because we only have 1.5 square miles, and we have limited space upon which to build revenue streams. So let me start talking about cash. We have to be thoughtful in the way we plan and invest. You know, the Winthrop Ferry is a great example of how we took $500,000 off the Winthrop books and established the leasing program with the MBTA, which we just extended through November. So let's keep ridership up so we can continue that partnership beyond the next 2 years. If I'm elected, I'm going to work closely with my peers on the town council, the town manager, Tony, town planner Rachel, and our state senator, Lydia Edwards, state rep, Jeff Turco, so we can actively secure federal and state funds to support our needs here in Winthrop with a range of things: capital improvements, affordable housing, and other important needs. I've worked on a lot of budgets, and I think budgets are a statement of values, and decisions about budgets should be made on facts and data. So we've got a couple of them in front of us, important decisions: the new proposed firehouse, what to do with the old middle school. We really need to educate ourselves election day and beyond, the choices we have in front of us, and make those choices based on facts, data, economic viability, as well as the community needs of the town. So I support putting out a short-term RFI, say 3 or 6 months, including the top 3 ideas for what to do with the middle school, including the proposed sports complex, have detailed hearings about those options, choose the best one, put it out to RFP, and move forward expeditiously from there. My central business district vision, I think about Main Street in Melrose, where I lived for 8 years. You know, it didn't always look like that, and now it's beautiful. We can do the same thing. So we need to dust off our central business district plan, decide what to implement, and make it happen. Third is climate. Why should we care about climate in Winthrop? Well, we're surrounded by water virtually on all sides. I think everybody cares about clean air, clean water, clean beaches, retaining property value, having affordable insurance rates. I think we need to future-proof Winthrop for our kids and grandkids by making smart decisions now to mitigate climate risk. I'm currently studying sustainability, technology, and management at MIT. Why? Because I want to learn about the best ways for us as a community to tackle this issue and also ensure the future of kids like my nephews, Brennan and Carter. Think about flooding, for example. When I live on Coral Avenue. When I moved there, the residents would joke that, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, you would be able to reach down in the street and grab your dinner as the lobster floats by. Well, we've obviously put in some temporary fixes like the seawall, et cetera, that we do not have that problem now, but those are temporary fixes. Think about what just happened in Leominster, for example, really bad floods. I'd encourage you to go to climatecentral.org and read their coastal city flood projections. If you look at their maps, they say by 2100, the chance of an annual coastal flood that goes 7 feet above the high tide line is increased by 38%. We have a great network of people in the greater Boston area, including some of our neighboring communities like Hull, for example, who have put plans in place to develop their climate resiliency plan, and we can do the same here for Winthrop. I propose we create a climate resiliency task force or committee for the town council. I also think about climate in terms of noise and air pollution. Logan, for example, wonderful to have it so convenient for travel purposes, but also an issue for noise and air pollution. We need to work closely with the MWRA, Massport, including making sure that the contracts that are coming up for renewal, such as mitigation funds that go to the Winthrop Foundation, are the best that they can be for Winthrop. So let's work together. Let's make Winthrop the best it can be. Visit my website, derossforwinthrop.org. You can also email me at derossforwinthrop@gmail.com or call me. And please remember to vote on November 7th. And thank you.
Hi, my name is Roseanne Triumphi Mazzucchelli. A lot of people call me Ro or Rose. I'm running for Winthrop Housing Authority. I'd like to tell you why. After I heard that my good friend Rich Honan, who had been serving on the board for multiple years, decided to retire, I said, time to step up to the plate. I was a town veteran service officer for over 9 years, assisting veterans and their families in getting their benefits. Part of being in housing is that veterans or their families have first preference over non-veterans. And I want to continue with that, helping that, assisting that. The Winthrop Housing Authority does a very good job at taking care of its residents, taking care of, especially its veterans, and ensuring that veterans get the help that they need. Veterans and veteran families, I should say, because it's the family also that is involved with the veteran. So I am there to maintain that contact, assist the veterans, which there are quite a few veterans in our housing authority, more so than any other housing authority that I've come across. And that they feel welcome there. They all do a good job. All the residents that I have personally met over the last several years there all work together, they get along, and try to make life easier for them, for their brothers and sisters in their fellow units. So I, along with Peg, whom has helped so many veterans and veteran families navigate the later part of their life, to be comfortable, to be welcome, to feel welcome, to be part of a community. I moved to Winthrop over 31 years ago with my husband. We have 4 children. We both served in the military, both U.S. Army. I've been on multiple deployments, as well as my husband. I started out as a combat military policewoman, and then I went on to get my Gold Shield and became a U.S. Army criminal investigator. I've since retired in 2000, and I continue to serve the veterans in Winthrop, even though I'm in another town, another community. So being on the housing board, I feel that I could still maintain that contact with Winthrop veterans, while ensuring that veterans' preference is still paramount with our housing authority, as well as other housing authorities, but our housing authority in particular, because Winthrop does a great job at taking care of its veterans. So I hope you consider me for the vote. There's 2 open seats, and get out there, vote early, vote often, and I could be reached via my email at speakerrow@aol.com. Thank you. Take care.